When medicinal cannabis went legal in 2018, Oklahoma State didn't just open the doors. They ripped them straight off the hinges. No caps, no limits. Anybody could get in, and they did. At its height, Oklahoma State handed out roughly 10,000 new grow licenses, and nearly 3,000 dispensaries popped up soon thereafter. For a state of just 4 million people, that made it the most crowded cannabis market in America. An oversupply of cannabis quickly turned into a race to the bottom. And ironically, in an industry that has always shouted for less regulation, it soon welcomed it. And the state responded by tightening things up. By July 2024, MJ Biz reported that grow permits had fallen nearly 44%, with dispensaries down 27% that same year. Those numbers tell a story of a market that had serious corrections. Behind these statistics are real growers who had to navigate it all. This brings us to Tulsa and to Jubel Exotics, a grow that managed to not only survive the wild ride, but to rise above it all. I'll introduce you to Billy, who traded food production for cannabis cultivation and built a crew with a true passion for the plant. So if they can make it through one of the toughest markets, not only in America, but arguably the world, they must be doing something right. So stick around to hear what Jubel Exotics is doing here in Oklahoma in the wild, wild west of weed. Oh, hey there. I'm cruising through the back end of our YouTube channel, Growing Exposed, and I was shocked to find out that 75% of our loyal, dedicated viewers have still yet to subscribe. Here's the deal. YouTube's algorithm is a bit picky, especially when it comes to cannabis-related content, even if it's made responsibly and factually. But when you, the viewer, hit the subscribe button, you're telling the algorithm loud and clear, we want more of this. It makes all the difference in our ability to keep creating it. Together, we can make sure our voices are heard. Thanks for watching. We're in Oklahoma. This is the 30th state to legalize medically, and it truly is the wild, wild west. What is the relevance of us being in a park in Oklahoma?
Well, I think for Jubel, a huge emphasis at our company is that we want a work-life balance, and we want people to be able to have time with their families and not be chained to the grow at all hours and all days of the week. We set up our schedule so that we work hard and we play hard. We, Monday through Thursday, have full days, and then Fridays we get everyone out of there for a half day so that they, whether it's going on a trip with their family, just going enjoying the gathering place, or whatever else they need to do, we have a good balance with our team so that not everyone is having to be at the garden all day, because as we know, a cannabis garden is a full-time gig. The plants don't go on vacation.
Yeah, they don't go on vacation. Okay.
So, but we've found a good way of balancing that with our team, and when everyone has a core passion and knowledge of the plant, we feel confident being able to share that burden between all of us so that it's not a constant burden that one person is just chained at the grow all day long, every single week. They're able to have a life with their family, spend time with their kids, and enjoy their life.
Yeah, they call it a trap house for a reason.
Correct.
When I think of Oklahoma, I think of the wild, wild west. And those that have heard about the cannabis scene in Oklahoma recognize that this thing exploded.
In May 2019, when Luke and I started Jubel, it wasn't how it looked today, and it wasn't how it looked 2 or 3 years later. There was a real small group of people. A lot of the big players in the country and people from out of state hadn't really given Oklahoma due credit, right? They just thought, oh, like this won't be worth our time. This isn't what we should do. And so the first group of people that were here and that developed this medical market had a robust medical market. All of the communities, and we're super excited about this becoming a reality here in Oklahoma. And then after about a year or two and word caught of what was going on, it absolutely got out of control. And it was a huge lift and burden for us to deal with that. I mean, we exploded to 10,000 licenses, grow licenses at one point.
That is huge. So none of us like overregulation in anything, but under-regulation and allowing everybody to have a free-for-all has a negative side effect also. And anytime there's money to be made, bad actors jump in. And once they jump in, they erode all profit out of it.
Correct.
There's, 10,000 cultivators. That's a huge number.
You can't even like imagine it. I mean, it's really like overwhelming statistic, you know?
Yeah.
I think the passion behind the plant and the long-term vision of what we can do for the community and that we aren't going anywhere, that this is our home and this is where we're gonna be. I think like that gets you through the bad days and the short-term pain.
Yeah. Stay the course.
Because at the end of the day, what's the main goal is to provide a safe product to the patients, and that's the state's #1 goal. And they're not gonna get it right every time, but as long as they're getting it right more than they get it wrong, then the patients are the ones at the end of the day that benefit from that. And so we were here for the whole process and for us as a state to figure out what is it gonna take to get things to the place where the right people are here and the right product is being provided for the patients and it's in a safe and compliant way.
Amazing. I can't wait to check out the garden. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Boom.
It looks like a simple bottle, but there's nothing simple about what's inside. Selected from trusted local suppliers and crafted from the finest ingredients, Green Planet was born over 25 years ago in Canada. Since then, these formulas have been validated by thousands of North American cultivation facilities. And in Australia, we don't just make Green Planet products. We hold ourselves to the highest standards of manufacturing in a triple ISO certified facility, delivering products designed to unlock nature's full potential. We take our nutrients very seriously because we know what's at stake for you, the grower. With every drop in this bottle being a testament to what can be achieved when science and nature unite.
We have 4 different cultivars in each run of our rooms. We have 4 tables, so 4 different sets of genetics up here. And this was kind of like our OG first veg room. You know, it's not the prettiest, but it gets all the job done. It's easy to clean and keep sterile in here. And so, I mean, this is where it all starts right here.
Beautiful. It fascinates me, right? Because not a lot of growers are university trained.
100%.
And you specifically went to Oklahoma State for food production.
Correct. What brought me to Oklahoma State was I was going to be a music performance major for saxophone.
Yeah.
And my dad had some friends that had worked for some food companies, and I was in this spot of like, what do I do with my life, right? And they said, hey, Oklahoma State is one of the top ag schools in the country. One of the biggest challenges that we're going to be facing as a society over the next 20 years is food production and logistics of how we're going to move food around with this growing population. And so that last minute before I got to school, I switched over to agriculture economics with the quantitative studies emphasis, with the sole purpose of learning the supply chain of food production and how we move food around and how we're going to address these challenges. My professor, Dr. Dunn, sponsored my project to rent out a greenhouse on campus, and he gave me the baseline to build 3 different hydroponic systems. And so that was like really where all this sparked through that process. When my partner Luke and I drew up the plans to run a indoor hydroponic farm doing cucumbers, we realized like, hey, if everything goes right, we keep our full-time jobs, we might break even.
Yeah.
And so we kind of put that on the back burner, and then once the laws were passed, we said, hey, let's rerun this business plan, see if this could almost be our stepping stone to be able to chase these extra endeavors that we have. But it's going to take a lot of capital to do these other things. And so we need some kind of stepping block to, number one, learn, but to also, two, have the ability to chase something that's such like a high moonshot. So it was years of getting doors slammed in our face, being told that our prices were too high, that our product, you know, wasn't dense enough nugs or big enough nugs as we're competing with different ways that people grow. But in the long run, that actually turned out to be a blessing, right? Because we were able to find the stores that truly cared about the patients. And in a sea of 2,000-3,000 stores, those stores are going to be the ones that prevail, and they're prevailing right now. Because when there's all of this going on, a lot of people saying the same things, giving the same pitches to the stores. What I've found is when we're inside of a store shaking hands with patients and getting feedback on the variety of ailments that people are using our product for, when you get that feedback loop going, it makes every no seem like it never even happened.
Nothing is more of a feather in your cap when someone says, hey, I liked that. That worked for me. That was a great experience using that. It makes all the no's go away.
And they believe in what your vision is.
Yeah.
And it just takes time for people to see that vision, right?
Absolutely. I can't wait to see more. Let's go.
Cool. Sweet, man.
Growing Exposed is more than just a video series. It's an integral part of our community. Did you know that being connected to us, you can save money on nutrients, lighting, dehumidification, and practically any other products that you would need to grow? Thanks to our large community, manufacturers give us exclusive direct grower discounts, which add up to big savings. We even have a program to save you substantial money on packaging, pop tops, glass jars, Mylar bags, labels, and stickers. Plus, we can save you money on promotional items and so much more. All the information on how you can take advantage of the discounts are in the description. And the best part is, it's free. So sign up now. So obviously I see you're running under-canopy.
Yeah.
Lighting, LED in here.
We're one run down. The way that things look right now is that we're gonna pay back the cost of what it was to upgrade this room in the very first run. Plant health has been substantially better. When we talk about the finished product, the consistency of the nug structure is 100% different than what it was in the HPS room. The flower development has been way more consistent. The coloring, the camo of the bags is completely gone. Everything is the same color. And we do believe once we get done trimming that we're gonna have more weight out of that than we've ever yielded out of any of our HPS rooms before.
Are you noticing any more nose?
The nose, the bag appeal, the trichome production, it's like an overall improvement. There's not a single thing that we felt like stayed the same or got worse. Everything improved.
It's amazing. I like the plant size. I like the plant spacing. It's really, really nice. You're finishing about 3.5 feet total.
This room's on week 2 right now.
Yeah.
So we got amazing flower development for this stage. We're gonna try and land everything right around these bars. And I'll just say that the under-canopies were a complete game changer. I mean, it seems like something that doesn't seem real at first when people tell you about it, but it really is the future. Even when we tie things back to how we were talking about food production and stuff earlier, these kind of technology advancements and ways to utilize energy in a more efficient way and get more production and yield are gonna be those things that have to happen for it to be able to be possible.
Under-canopy first came on the scene, I was like, I don't know. We tried it, we tested it, and we saw immediately a minimum 30% increase in yield. There's very few products that can genuinely give ROI the first crop full payback.
Yeah, we're a living, breathing proof of it.
The canopies look super nice and level. If this is second week, they're looking really healthy and really strong.
Yep.
Great production.
Yeah, this is day 15 in here right now.
Beautiful. It's a hell of a nice start.
Yeah, no, it's gonna, cool. This room should pop off pretty nice.
Beautiful. Let's see more. So we're with Jason, who is the head of operations.
Yes, sir. Cultivation director.
At Jubel.
Yep.
How's it going with you?
It's been good. I've been here 2 years. It's been awesome.
Amazing.
I was new to using Green Planet 2 years ago, but it's been a pretty easy transition. Takes a lot of the guesswork out. Takes a lot of complications out. There's a lot of nutrient lines that have a lot of additives, and I think people overdo it, and I think you just need to keep it simple.
I couldn't agree more. For those that don't know, what are we running?
When we start off, we run the dual fuel 1 and 2 at 9 mils a gallon. We run resin 8 mils all the way through the whole run.
Yeah.
And then PK Spike, we start at 3 mils at the beginning, then end of stretch, we'll bump that up to 4, and I back down dual fuel 1 and 2 to 7, and I run that till the end. It's a flush.
Perfect. What ppm are you running, or EC?
I mean, ppm, I think we're sitting at somewhere like 1,500.
It's not super high. Do you find that adding more food really helps?
I mean, when I got here, we were running pretty high, so I did back it down. In my experience, I've always tried to run a lot of programs like 70, 80% of what's on there. I think less is more. I think sometimes when you go too hard, you lock your plants out and you lose the quality. I chase quality more than anything else. And really, I chase consistency, because that's, to me, what you are going to build the business on. You can have one good run, but if you have a bunch of stuff that doesn't come out right, no one's going to come back to you. So to me, I like to be a super consistent grower.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'd rather a plant asks me for food than shoving a steak down a baby's throat.
It's the first thing I say all the time. The plants will let me know if they're upset, and we'll make a correction. You
Exactly.
know what I mean? But other than that, let's let them go.
I understand EC stacking and the ability to give it a hit and put the plant into a little bit of distress, but overly feeding consistently tends to have a much bigger negative effect.
For sure. So I think people get EC stacking all wrong. A lot of people think you need to send a high EC into your plant. To me, it's more about how you dry your plant out. So you shallow feed, you know, for 3-4 days, you'll watch your EC stacks, and then you give it heavy feed and you wash it back out. You gotta get those salts. If not, you will fry your plants. And that's what I've seen, you know, in the past with other people. You know.
It's a real hot topic, especially when we're doing dry backs.
Yes.
And you're running a medium that's much drier. It's fine if you're keeping that medium super wet to have a higher EC.
Yeah.
But the moment that block or that cube becomes dry, the EC naturally stacks.
Yes, sir.
Water goes away, the salts stay behind. So it's really important to notice what's happening at the plant. So before you do any major changes or major switches, it's really important to note what's happening in the root zone of that plant. And especially if you have a nutrient line that leaves behind carbonates, that stack could be to the point where you're just killing your plant.
Yeah.
So.
No, like I said, Green Planet's such an easy product. I love it. You know,
Cool.
I'd run other products my whole growing career before, but this is what I'd stick to now for sure.
Well, I'll pay you later.
You know,
Thanks,
no
Jason.
need. Thank you. You make the job easy. Thank you for the awesome nutrients.
Amazing. Thank you.
When I started this over 10 years ago, I was growing it and harvesting it. But nobody was really talking about what was going on inside this plant. Outside, you'll see plant material, which is primarily carbon and water. And it's only after a closer look you discover this beautiful world of trichomes. And it's here that you find the substance which gives cannabis the effect that it has. Now that I know it's all about trichome production, I use resin. Try it, you're gonna be blown away.
So Jason, this is 6 weeks in the flower,
Yes, sir.
and we're talking about a very dense canopy. I mean, to say this is a jungle in here is an understatement.
Oh no, she's thick girl. I mean, that's how we like them.
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, being an indoor grower, real estate's super important. So I try to get wall to wall. We run 144 plants per table. So that's 14.4 a light. We are backing down. I do a lot of super cropping, bending, so I make my canopies a lot thicker.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of been playing with those things, dial it in, growing, you're always learning. So we always got to keep changing things and adapting to what it is. But we do small changes at first, you know, so we're hitting our weights, we're backing down our numbers, we're hitting similar weights. That just helps us all the way across the board on everything. But yeah, no, she's a thick girl for sure.
Yeah. Once again, less is more.
Less is more. I mean, we do come through day 42. We'll go ahead and strip up and get a lot of these leaves out. So to me, it's more of just paying attention to your plants daily and, you know, pick 5-7 plants a day off each plant instead of picking 50. You know, and by the end, I think the plant responds better, at least in my opinion, in my experience. It's always a schedule and a process as we go.
This is so dense through here.
Yeah.
That you can't actually even see the light down low.
100%.
This is a great opportunity for under canopy lighting.
No, this room needs it. I mean, we saw it in our other room.
Yeah.
100% proof first run. It's only going to get better. But yeah, I mean, part of me would love to see HPS with the under canopies, to be honest.
They work well together.
Yeah. No, but that's our next step, 100%. We trace progress, not perfection, so that's kind of what we're going for.
Well said. I think proof is in the pudding.
I appreciate that.
And keep up the great work.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Jason.
Going through our final defan in here. We've got, this room's coming down on Monday, so we've got some supplemental dehumidification going on, and these guys, once they get done with their rows, they kind of go through and we clean up the tables post being complete with the defan, but obviously time is of the essence in here, and Cody and Kevin are phenomenal at what they do, and they do an awesome job, and they're really clean growers, as you can see from all the other rooms we've kind of inspected today. But obviously, like, while we're working, they're trying to get everything done, and then we'll get everything back to tip-top shape. So
don't mind the mess. It's a construction zone.
Yeah. It's in progress.
Yeah.
The way the rooms are set up are to actually be able to handle the humidity without this, but it's more so of a backup plan just in case if like something goes down or something happens, we're not just fully reliant. It's our redundancy that we take these units, we change out the filters and clean the condensers in between each run. So they're getting used typically for about 1 to 2 weeks in each of our rooms, this set that's up front here.
It's super common to not build in enough dehumidification.
Because you don't know what you're capable of doing at first, right? You run these numbers, you get through the first few runs, and so once the operation starts going and you're in this perpetual cycle, we only have essentially 24 hours of downtime in each of these rooms every 9 weeks. So those 24 hours are critical for us to go through our entire clean procedure, our sanitation, getting the room prepped and ready to go for the next run. So that's kind of the reasoning why we've kept the moving dehues, but we make sure that we're servicing them properly in between the rest of the rooms.
I mean, it makes a ton of sense, right? The highest amount of humidity load is the last 2 weeks.
Correct.
And it's the most important time to make sure we don't run the chance of bud rot.
Correct.
Correct.
And just keeping our entire microbial load down in the rooms. We do run a light mix of chlorine dioxide within all of our rooms just to make sure it's something that's very commonly used in hospitals and any other sanitary places. But it's so critical because of how stringent the testing is for our microbials that we have to maintain these certain levels of humidity and micro load in the air to be able to get through all the testing requirements that we have.
How rigorous is that testing in Oklahoma?
It's a pass-fail for Aspergillus, and there's about 8 different species of Aspergillus that are tested for. You can have 0 load. So if you even have 1 part per million, it's an automatic fail.
Wow.
And we have a 10,000 part per million load for total yeast and mold. But what's difficult about that is we grow plants, living plants that need microbials to be able to process the nutrients that we feed them and to grow. And so it's a fine balance of having a microbial load that's healthy and sustainable for the plant, but also that doesn't end up registering when we go to get it tested. You go through a 3-4 month span of growing this crop, it's all perfect, but if you don't maintain your microbial load properly, then it's all for naught if you're getting a failed microbial test.
Isn't it ironic, right, that microbial loads are so heavily tested, and your crop is all for naught if you fail. But quote unquote, the devil's lettuce was bad for you for so long, but romaine has been known to kill people recently because of high loads. This is food production and double standards at its finest.
100%. It's a lot of weight to bear on the grow, but it also is like a beacon of like, hey, if we're capable of growing indoors a highly clean product, it is possible to do at scale for our food as well, right? And I don't think that burden should just be held by the cannabis industry, that if we're fine with this, if this is how clean we need to run an indoor grow, we should 100% be holding these same standards for all of our food without using a bunch of preservatives and chemicals to do so.
I totally agree. And as a nutrient manufacturer myself, right, where is the source of that organic nutrients coming from? It can be laden with pesticide, it can be laden with heavy metals. So I think if anything, the cannabis industry is showing us, hey, expect more from our food and the inputs that are going into that food.
And I can say with 6 years of using Green Planet, we've never had a register of a heavy metal once on any of our COAs.
And you will not, because we take making fertilizer really seriously.
Yep.
And
it takes the guesswork out of it for us as well.
Yeah.
So like what we do is when we trim, we leave them in here for like a day, and then we put everything into totes and grow bag liners inside the totes. Mm-hmm. So this was all the weed.
That's a nice nose.
Yeah, this is all from the LED under-canopy room, and that's one of our phenos that we hunted ourselves.
What a nice fucking nose.
Bro, it's...
I mean, if you're talking about bag appeal,
Yeah.
like I haven't smoked this, obviously. If you're talking about bag appeal, that's some nice bag appeal.
Yeah, and it's a testament to what the under canopies can take it to the next level, right? Because I think we're producing awesome flower out of the HPS rooms, and it's been a fan favorite, but it's like, this is like the new age of like what the flower can be. I mean,
super pretty.
yeah, and it's the uniformity too of the flower is so much better now with that less plant count and the under canopy. So also I want to touch on that we don't rush our flower out the door. So in this dry room, we hold the plants for 14 days of a dry process, which is 14 to 21 days. You know, certain strains will let them hang a little bit longer, but we truly believe having that longer dry time that's not found many places allows the flower to cure on the stem and retain all that moisture and get it out of the stems so that you don't over dry or have too wet of weed. It really finds that equilibrium. And then as soon as we trim it, we do believe in having this, you know, humidity controlled environment so that the weed's not resaturating moisture and that it's also not getting overhandled from getting tossed around in bins or totes. And that's like why we don't really store that much flower inside these totes, because we want everything to be uniform and get equal environment inside of here.
Yeah.
Just as critical as our rooms environments is our curing environment.
I couldn't agree more. Cannabis is different than vegetables, right?
Yep.
I want a nutrient-dense vegetable,
Correct.
right? When we're talking about food production.
Yeah.
I want every element within there.
Bioavailability inside.
I want to eat something that's nutrient-rich. Cannabis, I want to make sure that the elements are out of the plant.
And the oil is what's left.
Exactly. So when it comes to consuming a flower, I want as little carbon in that flower, and I want to make sure that there's no elements within that flower that I'm consuming. I want as much trichomes, much oil that's on the flower to be consumed, because that's where the medicinal part of it is. But a proper cure and a very clean nutrient determines, for me, the best quality flower possible. And people don't really talk about the smoke, right? They don't talk about how, like, I like when I consume cannabis, for the smoke to actually have a creamy flavor and a very smooth. I mean, that whole adage of if you don't cough, you don't get off, that's super high school.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to cough.
No.
I want the smoke to be smooth.
And especially if you're using for a medicinal purpose where you might have something compromised, whether it's lung capacity or, whatever you're dealing with, you need as clean and as smooth of a product as possible because you know that you're trying to get the effects from that oil.
Yeah, which is why getting into the hashes is even a better idea.
Correct.
Getting into the rosins, getting into the extracts, where you're not consuming any carbon at all.
Correct.
And you're just consuming the glandular head of the flower. That really is medicinally the best.
Correct.
So, and you don't need to be doing a lot of concentrate, just go easy, take a little bit.
Yep.
Take a super light dab and you'll still get there. Knowing that you've done everything properly to this point, and I can tell you, this product is just about ready to go. You're entirely right.
Yep.
You've been at this for 6 years, and I can tell you that this pack looks really, really beautiful. And the art is there, and the intention is there.
Oh, we appreciate it, man.
So
a lot of work goes into it.
Absolutely. If there's anything I hope someone gets from this episode is the amount of love, care, and attention that goes into the simple thing of going to the store and buying a bag. If you're buying a product that someone's put their love and care and attention into, it's just so much more.
Yeah, and you can tell, right?
You really can. Proof is in the pudding.
Yep.
So, keep up the great work.
Cool. Yeah, this is a damn good batch, so.
Yeah, beautiful. So all the hard work of cultivation, and this is where it finally ends up at Bodega Boys Dispensary. So this is the packaging?
Yes, sir. With the new laws that it came into place at the beginning of June, they started to require everything to be prepackaged inside the state of Oklahoma. So a big change for the patients and for all the operators, but this is like kind of an example of our version of how to do pre-pack without driving up costs that we were having to take on. We thought Mylar would be the best option, and one of the big parts that the patients were concerned about was not being able to see the flower that they were purchasing anymore. So we went with the little window with our logo on the back, and it's been a huge selling point and just appreciation from the patients for being able to still see the flower that they're purchasing.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, if I'm gonna spend X amount of dollars on a product, I wanna see what it looks like.
100%.
I want the bag appeal. That's an important part of the overall experience.
Totally.
And we've got pre-rolls.
Yep, all the different pre-rolls that we provide: rosin, rosin infused, diamond infused, and full flower pre-rolls. So the diamonds is a more new product for us, but it was kind of like an alternate for people that were buying trim and distillate pre-rolls that were trying to, not have to break the bank, but get like a extreme effect that they're going for, whatever is chronic pain, moving off of opioids, whatever the cause may be. So that was our best solution of not having a product that burns so hot and so harsh on the lungs, and it's more enjoyable, but also not as detrimental to their health.
We're seeing that cannabis helps opioid users get off. It's actually not a gateway drug, it's the polar opposite. It's a get off of hard drugs.
Correct, and with a lot of our pop-ups and community events that we've done, that's been a lot of feedback from that about how much it's helped people having a legal option to put their lives in a different direction and not be a crippling, debilitating addiction.
Amazing. You're finding that the diamonds really helps, the more potent?
Yeah, it's going to be people that are with chronic pain or more severe cases. I think a full flower pre-roll can, if you're doing for more minor ailments, is right up their alley and what they're looking for. But there are people that are hey, it does take me a little bit more to kind of subdue whatever I'm going through. And so that was the reason for the diamond rollout that we did. And we've seen a huge success from it. And people really can tell a huge difference between that and a distillate and trim pre-roll.
Amazing. How many dispensaries is Jubel currently in Oklahoma?
Rotationally, about 120 brick and mortar locations. Bodega Boys here, they have 6 stores from the northeast corner to the southeast corner of the state. And so they're a major partner with us, but across the state, it's about 120 brick and mortars.
Super. Oklahoma's cannabis market was called the Wild Wild West for a good reason. Many didn't make it through. But here at Jubel Exotics, Billy and his crew proved that cultivation is more than just growing. It's passion over profit, where the love of the plant guides every decision. It's people and it's the teamwork that holds everything together. It's staying true to your values, even when chaos surrounds you. In the end, that's what makes the difference. So with that said, this grow has been exposed, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.